okay? But on the flip side, you got Sean Strickland probably in a little Toyota or whatever, down in Newport Beach, chatting shit, talking shit, saying, hey, you said if you see me, it's on site. You said that on the street, if I die, I die. Well, here I am in Newport Beach, and you never showed up. So Strickland's talking a bit of shit. I also heard that the Chechen guys were running around Las Vegas looking for Sean Strickland, right? Wanting to bloody kill him. Okay, Sean might need to get some security. He's like, no, I don't care. I've got guns. Come to my house. You're more than welcome. And I gotta love that about Sean Strickland.
Let's be brutally honest from the jump. This transcends everything we normally see in fight promotion and ventures into genuinely dangerous territory. Sean Strickland isn't just running his mouth for social media clout or trying to manufacture some fake drama to boost pay-per-view numbers. He's systematically describing a scenario where actual lethal violence nearly erupted in real time. According to Strickland, Chimaev's crew was literally hunting him through Las Vegas with murderous intent. And Chimaev himself allegedly said, if you see me, it's on sight. If I die, I die. These aren't your typical pre-fight sound bites designed for highlight reels. This is someone mentally preparing for a street war with fatal consequences. Strickland's response to these alleged death threats reveals the true gravity of the situation. He's openly inviting armed confrontation at his residence. The UFC has spent decades legitimizing mixed martial arts as a regulated sport, but when fighters start discussing genuine life or death scenarios outside sanctioned competition, every boundary that separates professional athletics from criminal violence gets obliterated. Dana White's billion-dollar empire suddenly faces liability issues that go far beyond contract disputes or judging controversies. We're talking about potential criminal investigations, federal involvement, and the complete destruction of everything the promotion has built.
Dude, I was like 10 minutes from your gym. I was dropping tags and locations all day on my Instagram. Your homies that train with you follow me. They were seeing my story. You had to know where I was at. 10 minutes from your gym, bro. I was probably right down the street from you.
I mean, Sean Strickland's just stirring the pot big time here, and I absolutely love it. He's like, I was dropping locations. All your homies follow me on Instagram. I'm down the road. If he was at Newport...
The sinister undercurrent surrounding this situation had been percolating for weeks before it exploded into public view, and anyone connected to the fight game could sense something dark brewing beneath the surface. Khamzat Chimaev doesn't just win fights, he systematically destroys the psychological foundation of everyone he faces, carrying an aura of genuine menace that extends far beyond athletic competition. When multiple credible sources whisper about Chechen crews actively searching for an opponent with serious harmful intent, we're not discussing staged press conference theatrics anymore. This is about preventing actual bloodshed and keeping people alive. The security protocols for UFC 328 won't just need enhancement, they'll require unprecedented measures that protect not just the fighters but their families, coaches, and everyone in proximity to the event. Strickland's calculated provocation of dropping specific locations and daring Chimaev to appear represents an almost suicidal escalation that in Chimaev's cultural context cannot be ignored without severe consequences to honor and reputation. This fight has completely transcended championship implications and entered territory where honor must be defended with far more than regulated fists in a controlled environment. The collision of these fundamentally incompatible worldviews and codes of conduct creates a powder keg that could explode before any sanctioned violence occurs.
In America, you should threaten. But I guess if you don't show up, you don't show up.
Sean Strickland might just be the last dude in America that you want to threaten. A, because, let's be honest, a former middleweight champion and a guy that's got a really good shot. And we'll get into the matchup in just a second. A guy that's got a shot at beating Khamzat Chimaev and being the first person to ever do it, right? But he's saying, come and see me. You know Sean Strickland's packing 100%. He's not that stupid, right? Anyone comes to his house, he's got the guns. We've seen the videos, right?
Sean Strickland weaponized his social media presence with audacious precision, providing actual coordinates and actionable intelligence rather than vague tough guy posturing that could be dismissed as typical fight week nonsense. He specified being 10 minutes from Chimaev's gym, delivering a direct and undeniable challenge that crossed every professional boundary. This wasn't accidental carelessness, but strategic escalation by someone who understands exactly how to create genuine danger and push opponents beyond their breaking point. Strickland wasn't inviting verbal sparring or Twitter beef. He was explicitly challenging Chimaev to physical confrontation outside any protective athletic commission oversight or referee intervention. This kind of reckless behavior doesn't generate typical pay-per-view hype, but creates irreversible animosity that tests the boundaries of what's acceptable even in combat sports' wildest corners. The UFC faces impossible promotional challenges when featured fighters actively bait each other into street fights, while the potential for unsanctioned lethal violence looms over the entire event like a dark storm cloud. This situation demands immediate intervention from the highest levels, legal involvement, mediation, and stern consequences, because allowing such escalation to continue without punishment could result in absolutely catastrophic outcomes for fighters, families, fans, and the promotion itself.
Of his career, when he took out Fluffy Hernandez, it was beautiful, and that knee up the middle that he finished him with. And by the way, all of the takedowns that he was able to stop. That's why I say this fight is not a foregone conclusion for Khamzat Chimaev. Yes, Khamzat is the better wrestler. Yes, Khamzat has the bigger power, okay? But there's more to it than wrestling and punching power. There's conditioning, okay? And Sean Strickland's got some of the best conditioning.
Sean Strickland represents a walking contradiction that's simultaneously fascinating and terrifying, a former UFC champion who remains unapologetically anti-establishment in every fiber of his being. His "I've got guns, come to my house" declaration isn't manufactured tough guy persona for camera time, but genuine reflection of his lifestyle and worldview regarding self-defense and the Second Amendment. When Chimaev's camp reportedly comes hunting with serious intent, and Strickland responds with direct invitations to armed confrontation at his residence, the situation completely abandons sports territory and enters potential criminal intent realm with serious legal jeopardy for everyone involved. The UFC maintains stringent conduct policies and behavioral standards designed to protect their brand and athletes from exactly these scenarios, but controlling a fighter who actively courts real-world violence and wears it as a badge of honor presents unprecedented challenges. This isn't staged press conference brawling where everyone knows it's part of the promotional show. This represents potential armed standoffs that could become genuine tragedies resulting in loss of life. Dana White would be legally and morally obligated to involve law enforcement, possibly federal authorities if it crosses state lines, to prevent what could become both a public relations catastrophe and an actual human disaster. The fundamental separation between sport and crime, between sanctioned competition and street violence, faces constant threat from Strickland's provocations that serve as open invitations to a world where rules cease to exist and athletic commissions hold no authority.
And coming into this one, he's like, bro, you want to go out there and talk all of this shit and make out like you're going to threaten me and come to my house and kill me? That's fine. I'll see you in the octagon, okay? Sean Strickland doesn't walk around with a massive entourage. He doesn't, and I respect that about him. You don't need an entourage. You don't even need a bunch of coaches. It's just Sean, Eric Nixick, and a bunch of people that he spars with. Most of the time, he's always dressed the same. He's always got a white t-shirt on and a pair of jeans, right?
Your nuts are probably full gray, dude. How much TRT are you on, dude? Relax.
Enough to put you in your place. Don't worry about it.
He's a simple man that fights his goddamn ass off, talks his mind, which you've got to respect. At least you know where you stand with Sean Strickland.
Strickland's defiance reaches absolutely chilling levels when he frames himself as literally the last person in America anyone should threaten, not because of championship credentials, but due to his demonstrated willingness to respond to threats with overwhelming lethal force. He strategically evokes the Paulo Costa incident to portray Chimaev as someone who talks aggressively but can't back up his words when confrontation becomes real, representing calculated psychological warfare designed to infuriate and publicly question Chimaev's courage and manhood. But the hard truth that changes everything is Strickland's open declaration that anyone approaching his home will face his firearms collection, and he's prepared to use them without hesitation. This isn't hypothetical movie dialogue, but a former UFC middleweight champion publicly stating his readiness for deadly confrontation involving weapons, validating escalating fears that Dana White might actually need police involvement in what should remain a sporting rivalry. The moment fighters cross from competitive psychological warfare into discussing actual armed defense against opponents' perceived real-world threats, the entire sports structure becomes fundamentally compromised. This shifts from fight promotion to tragedy mitigation, from entertainment to preventing news stories that would devastate the sport's reputation for decades. The matchup itself features intriguing stylistic elements often overlooked beneath the surface. Drama? Chimaev's relentless wrestling dominance faces criticism for his inability to finish tough opponents, while Strickland has shown remarkable evolution as a complete mixed martial artist with stellar takedown defense and elite conditioning that could exploit Chimaev's vulnerabilities during brutal weight cuts and championship rounds. This isn't the one-sided affair casual fans assume, but a chess match where genuine animosity will push both men beyond normal limits, potentially causing rage-induced mistakes that could reignite dangerous tensions both inside and outside the cage, making this far from the foregone conclusion many expect, and exactly why the jeopardy surrounding UFC 328 feels disturbingly real.